How long does this take? How long does this take? How long does this take? Takes forever. Takes forever. Takes forever. Takes forever. How long does this take? Takes forever. Shoot some. Takes forever to start.
Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul. In this video, we're breaking down Gen V Season 2. The first 3 episodes are now here, and throughout this video we'll be going through them all. The season continues on from both the cliffhanger in Season 1 and The Boys Season 4. However, due to Chance Padermo's sad passing, it seems like the plans have changed quite a lot. The first episode skips over the time at Elmira, and instead we're left in the wake of the character's death. Now, as we saw at the end of The Boys Season 4, Homeland has been deputized by the President to protect Supes. President Calhoun has been sworn in, with Singer being pushed out the Oval Office. Victoria Newman is also dead, and the university has a brand new Super Dean. Played by Hamish Linklater, the enigmatic Cypher has very little known about me. You could say he's a Cypher.
I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
Linklater, though he was superb in Midnight Mass, and he also voiced Batman in the latest Cape Crusader series. He's a complete opposite to Dean Shetty, and whereas her goal was to eliminate the Supes, he's here pushing for Supe supremacy. In the original casting call, he was a character named Sphinx, but they've changed it to Cypher to add a bit of mystery. Now, Sphinx and Cypher, they're not characters from the comics, but he does feel in line with John Godolkin. Either way, there's so much to discuss here with an
You ever heard of Nintendo? They're pretty big. Pokemon, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Zelda, Mario. They made the games that everybody loves. Or they used to. When Nintendo made the NES in 1985, it exploded in popularity. Everybody wanted this thing. Nintendo quickly became the household console that every family owned. Every kid had an NES, or a Game Boy, or a Wii, or a DS, or a Switch. Nintendo was a part of everyone's childhood, and because of that, everyone loved them. Nintendo always felt like the most genuine company compared to Sony and Microsoft. Every title they released had so much love poured into it. Playing their games are some of the most fun memories I have from my childhood. I loved Nintendo, and now I hate them. Nintendo is no longer the friendly, familiar face we thought we knew. They've become the most greedy, self-indulgent, anti-consumer business that not only doesn't care about their community, but is actively destroying it. Releasing terrible ports of games for more money, charging an upgrade fee to play titles in 60 FPS, raising the price of older consoles, charging creators to make videos on their products, and shutting down a charity event? What happened?
Tech news. It's what's for dinner. Don't let Big Beef lie to you. It always has been, and it always will be. Tech news. People don't get that. Tech news. NVIDIA and Intel have struck a deal and will be working together in a wild twist of fate, lifting Intel stock from rock bottom to one rock above the bottom through a $5 billion investment. As part of the agreement, Team Blue will design and manufacture custom x86 CPUs to pair with NVIDIA's AI accelerators for data centers, and they'll also make consumer-focused SoCs that combine
No,
Intel
that takes
CPU
so
cores with
long.
NVIDIA RTX
I
GPU
don't know,
chiplets
why?
on the same
I don't know
package.
why.
The two companies' joint press conference made it clear this is a
Shit?
bigger deal to
Look at
Intel than
shit.
it is to NVIDIA.
Look
Lip
at
Bhutan
shit.
was set up
Look
in a
at
professionally lit
shit.
studio, while
Look at
Jensen
shit.
looked like he was popping out of a meeting to take a call in a hallway. Did he have leather on though? Not even a vest. But wait, does this compromise the dream of Intel's homegrown GPUs providing some much needed competition to NVIDIA? Who knows, but Intel says Arc's not dead yet. A spokesperson told PC World that the collaboration is complementary to Intel's roadmap, and Intel will continue to have GPU product offerings, which is the kind of vague platitude you tell someone to get them to please leave the store because attention shoppers, the store is closing literally right now, please get out of it.
We have lives.
Meta announced their first smart glasses to feature a display on Wednesday during their Meta Connect event, which sadly suffered from Wi-Fi issues that only affected how their AI worked and nothing else.
The sauce, sesame oil.
What do I do
brown
first?
sugar.
What do I do first?
You've already combined the base ingredients.
What do I do first?
You've already combined the base ingredients.
All right, I think the Wi-Fi might be messed up. Sorry, back to you, Mark.
It's all good. The irony of the whole thing is that you spend years making technology, and then the Wi-Fi at the day kind of catches you.
In addition to a built-in camera and speakers, the Ray-Ban display glasses have a full-color display in the right eye, will support live translation and captions for only the person standing in front of you, and comes with a neural band for your wrist that lets you control the glasses through finger movements and even write with your finger on any surface to input text.
Any surface?
Any surface you want.
Well, you have to ask first.
And apparently you can't even really see that there's a display when you're not wearing the glasses. And these aren't a prototype. They're launching September 30th, only in the US, for $800 as a social experiment to see whether the solution to everyone being addicted to screens is to put the screens on your face 24/7.
Gotta fight fire with fire.
Not feeling the screen? The original screenless Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses are getting battery and camera upgrades, and there's a new Oakley Meta pair of shades called Vanguard for high-intensity sports. The shield's on. Do they come in white? It seems like more and more people might start wearing camera glasses. Are you being recorded? Probably, but now it's by everyone, not just the government. Hey! Lastly, Quest 3 and 3S headsets. Good, because I'm actually boost per 2 time. User Gonzi123 posted a
Yay,
full guide on
finally,
Reddit
one
if
map
you think you're up to the
does
task, along with some casual claims of a 5% performance boost in Red Dead 2, and less RAM being used in Celeste. There are some exciting handhelds on the way, from the ROG Xbox allies to the GPD Win 5 with Ryzen Strix Halo, but they're coming with some chunky price tags, not to mention that regular Xbox consoles just got another price hike for the second time this year. So hopefully, the free performance should dull the pain a little bit, though you'll feel even
Oh, this isn't
if you
silver.
check out our sponsor,
Charge! They make stuff that
It's an app,
charges
man.
your
They should pretty
devices,
easy.
but their new Disc Pro is the world's first actively cooled
Who's get headshot?
multi-port hub.
So-
What are you
hurts.
Turns out what they're doing is creating a credit card size, transparent cyberpunk styled, MagSafe compatible desktop class hub with a built-in USB-C cable, HDMI 2.1, two USB-A ports, and another USB-C port with up to 4 terabytes of capacity.
We can go B.
up to 1,000
I got the
megabytes
badge
per
spawn,
second
so I can smoke
transfer
door.
speed, up to
I can smoke door for
80
you
watt
guys.
charging, and an adjustable fan to cool all of that. So if you're in
You got the good spawn.
literally does it all, while making you feel like you're
What? Wait, what the fuck? Why are we going B?
check out
Yeah,
I'm going B. One on site only. Not 2 on site, 1 window, 1 site. B doors is smoked off.
on your fridge. Yeah, there's one new model. That's fine with me. I love hearing about new products and promotions. Stumble into my kitchen for a glass of milk and many of you knew it was only a matter of time once fridges with screens started coming out. Samsung originally denied this was happening back in April, but now their family hub refrigerators are getting it over there. Oh, nothing. You like it. You know what else I like? This wacky Pro X2 melt mouse from Logitech with their new Super Strike technology for super gamers who need features like haptic-based clicks, rapid triggers, and adjustable actuation. Is this the first part? Just claiming it's the first
just playing. Plant that shit or else.
And offers 8,000 kilohertz polling
I'm
with up to
Zeusing you, man.
44,000 DPI Hero 2 sensor in there.
Yes.
I thought I was the only one with that.
So long, we have AKs.
Yo,
Year 3 buds.
I can smoke cat.
If you need a crystal
Lass mich
clear
da.
recording from your
Yeah, I'll
mouth
just flash
from a
you
tiny
up.
microphone. It's called a super mic, and it's located on the earbud's case. And you activate it. It makes you look like you're talking into a little handheld mic, which I guess you are. The release is great day for
I'm sorry.
$180 up price, and I just
You
think
guys
they're
got
neat.
it.
They're just no big deal. Chill. It'll catch on. And Nanoleaf's new
I fucked
light
it.
therapy wand is the last bit we're shining a light on today. It costs $100. It is a 6-in-1 skincare multitasking hero. But I haven't even told you yet what the best part is. It bites. It does bite. And while it's meant for your face, you can point that sucker anywhere you want. Enjoy. This is Nanoleaf's third light therapy product. With a mask and LED panel for $150 a pop, marking it on transition from wall decorations to skin treatment to... We'll wave it away if you want. I feel like... What on earth will they come up with next? I don't know. I'm just the guy who makes the funny faces and the glow. Try to keep everyone up to date and happy. And if you do a good job at that...
Nice job.
Everything else is getting news. Sorry, not sorry. This is my section. Leave him alone!
Pro up move.
One October evening in 2016, an Arkansas farmer was sitting in his pickup truck just outside the field, and he was growing in Suddenly, another so the farmer got seconds later. The farmer's name was Mike Wallace. He wasn't killed over money or land.
Heavy lead on
He was
cap.
killed over a herbicide. Chemicals designed to destroy weeds. This herbicide spread fear through rural America, turning farmers against each other. All because it belonged to a certain company.
Nice gun mid. Oh, he's dead.
And they could just send henchmen to your door. Even if you
I had
just
no
grow
gun.
seeds in your field, they could send you to court and bankrupt you.
In effect, they had a farmland monopoly. They owned more than
Who buys
80%
I
of
couldn't
the
really hear you there.
seeds planted in the United States.
And to get this monopoly, they play the
Go
legal
B.
system,
Good.
Colluding with corrupt
I'll smoke that.
twisted scientific evidence,
appears to have been caught.
the chemicals they were making
Only one
destroyed
cross.
the health of communities all over the world.
This is a video
Flashing,
about
look away.
Monsanto, one of the biggest agricultural companies in the world. Our investigation is based on publicly available documents, recordings,
I'll
and
watch
third-party
tunnels.
opinions.
Molly windows.
Sources are linked in the description. In 1942, a chemist named Franklin D. Jones made an unusual enemy. Poison ivy. See, his children had a very violent reaction to the plant. They would get intense rashes and swelling when they brushed up against the ivy. So Jones wanted a way to kill it. He experimented by spraying the ivy with hormones, chemicals that could regulate the plant's functions the same way they do in humans and animals. His hope was that one of these hormones would cause it to die. Unfortunately, many had no effect and others only made the ivy grow better. But then, one day, Jones noticed that certain samples began to show terrorists win. He watched as the vibrant hues turned to twisted shapes, and then, within days, these plants shriveled up and died. Jones checked the chemical he sprayed them with, and surprisingly, it was a growth hormone called 2,4-D. It's an acid made up of a ring of 6 carbons and hydrogens called the benzene ring, with an acid tail. Chlorine atoms in the 2 and 4 positions of the ring, which is why it's called 2,4-D. To
Only
keep
one
things tidy,
cross.
we don't have to hydrogens, but keep in mind they're still there. Jones realized this synthetic hormone was incredibly potent.
tiny amounts of it, it still encouraged the ivy to grow. But if you sprayed on a lot of it, 2,4-D would trigger such uncontrollable and unsustainable growth that the poison ivy would die in the process.
So if I had plant cancer in a ball,
I was just gonna say plant cancer.
right?
Yeah, it's immediately where my brain went.
What was even more remarkable was that it only targeted the ivy. The grass around it was barely affected, like it was resistant.
Terrorists win. Jones performed over 100 different experiments by pouring herbicide into many different plant species, and what he figured out was that
You said this
2,4-D
was a silver
really
blue?
picky. It killed broadleaf
I
weeds
said it was a
like
silver.
dandelions, chickweed,
Marshmallow?
poison ivy.
Well, what did I
But
say?
it
I don't know.
virtually ignored crops.
You said this is a
Wheat,
silver
corn,
when you
and
got
barley,
done mid
all
by
mostly unaffected by 2,4-D.
because my counterpoint was, it's an opportunity.
To improve this further,
One more.
benzene ring, transforming it into grasses even more unscathed. He was onto something huge.
Because up until then, farmers could get rid of weeds one of two ways. Either you spray them with dangerous chemicals like arsenic,
One from
or you
T-Spawn
have to
coming.
pull the weeds out manually.
Oh,
Either way, you're
only
at a loss.
alive.
But with 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T, you could spray crop fields, and only the weeds died.
Jones stumbled upon the first practically viable herbicides, so he was quick to patent them in 1945, just as the war was ending. After the Allies' victory, the patent secrecy restrictions in most countries were lifted, and it turned out that there were other scientists, both in the US but also in the UK, who discovered these herbicides independently.
Soon the world was blessed with modern miracle weed killers. And Weed Evolve, Endo, all formulations of 2,4-D herbicides.
This man is ready to kill weeds because he's going to do it the easy way.
These chemicals literally replace the hoe in everything from farm fields to railroad tracks and sidewalks. American lawn, just grass and nothing else. Because with these herbicides, there was no longer any excuse for a weedy lawn.
By the late 1940s, the herbicide industry turned into a $1 billion industry, and everyone wanted in, including one of the biggest chemical companies at the time, Monsanto. One of Monsanto's main herbicide factories was in Nitro, West Virginia, where they pumped out almost a ton of 2,4,5-T a day. By 1949, Monsanto's business was booming, when all of a sudden, the plant exploded. Over 100 workers rushed out to see a dark cloud rising 30 meters above the factory. They watched as a black, stinking powder started raining down on their faces. Within hours, many of these men fell ill. First, they got headaches and nausea, but then their skin began to erupt with bumps, pustules, and acne. The lesions on some of the workers' faces got so bad that Monsanto's on-site doctors had to peel off layers of their skin in an attempt to remove them. Closed room, a strong odor. They wrote, "We believe these men are excreting a foreign chemical through their skins." But neither the doctors nor anyone else at Monsanto knew what the chemical was, because both 2,4,5-T and 2,4-D were marketed as very safe.
See, when the herbicides were first getting introduced, Jones, the original inventor, even remarked that he knew people who would accidentally drink or spray the herbicides onto themselves, and they suffered no ill health effects. They were fine. And one of the doctors, after he had remarked that I've personally taken 1 pack a gram of pure 2,4-D a day for 3 weeks. You judge the results. It was the 40s, so people were a bit crazy, but yeah, it seemed a mistake.
Back at Nitro, Monsanto analyzed all the other ingredients they were using to make 2,4,5-T, but they still couldn't find what was causing their workers' skin to erupt in this way. This is where their search seemingly stopped.
With no culprit, the conditions at the plant stayed mostly the same, and Monsanto just offered their workers a choice. Either you keep on working with 2,4,5-T.
Remember, this was no choice at all. There weren't really any other jobs in town. So most of the workers stayed with something inside the factory, poisoning them for years to come.
Lower.
It wasn't until 1957, 8 years after the explosion, that a German dermatologist, Karl Schultz, found himself treating patients with similar-looking lesions naturally. He wasn't surprised by the symptoms because many of these patients worked in 2,4,5-T factories around Hamburg. But when Schultz would test these ingredients from the instruction list on rabbit ears he had at the lab, he would get no reactions. And this puzzled him. How do these ingredients do nothing in his own tests, but at the same time cause these painful skin disorders inside 2,4,5-T factories?
Well, to make 2,4,5-T, you start with tetrachlorobenzene, a benzene ring with 4 chlorine atoms attached to it. These chlorine atoms are very electronegative, so they want to steal electrons from nearby atoms. Luckily for them, the 6 carbons in the benzene ring are all sharing their electrons in these fuzzy donut-shaped clouds. That's what this circle in the diagram represents. The chlorine atoms pull on this electron cloud, themselves. Positively charged, and the chlorines slightly negatively charged. Now, if you heat up tetrachlorobenzene with sodium hydroxide, the negative hydroxide ions will want to bind to one of the carbons in the benzene ring. And to do that, it forces out the chlorine atom, taking its place. This creates or TCP, a key ingredient in making a herbicide. From here, if you keep the reaction at 170 degrees Celsius, you get a series of chemicals to grow out this oxygen tail into an acid, giving you 2,4,5-T.
On paper, this is all there is. If you follow the exact steps here and control the conditions, then none of these ingredients will explain the horrible face eruptions that the nitro workers were experiencing. But Schultz wasn't satisfied with this. Maybe the conditions aren't perfect. Maybe there is something in this process, some secret reaction that is contaminating the whole chemical supply.
Ideally, the process of transforming chlorobenzene into 2,4,5-T should happen at 170 degrees Celsius. If it gets any higher, even just a few degrees higher, there is usually enough in the system for 2 molecules of TCP to fuse together. This creates a molecule commonly known as dioxin. It forms only in trace amounts, so you might expect to end up with roughly molecules of dioxin for every 100,000 molecules of
Planting for cat.
It seemed too small to be a problem. Nevertheless, Schultz decided to test it. He took some TCP, this time contaminated with trace amounts of dioxin, and rubbed it into his own skin. And he got the same acne as the workers at the nitro plant.
Once Schultz realized the threat here, he immediately contacted all the big chemical producers in Germany. And one of these German companies even sent letters to both Monsanto and Dow, the other big producer in the US, and they warned them that the acne referring to dioxin. They even listed when exactly during the process of contamination was happening and what.
Could I get that out, Blue? I'm so poor.
Yes,
thank you.
Monsanto denied everything.
Dude, you're gonna make me blow.
Dow said they somehow misfiled.
I'm gonna get
Can I
it
blow
back.
you?
Regardless, it was obvious to both companies that something in the production of 2,4,5-T was poisoning their workers. But Monsanto didn't warn the public.
Boom.
Perhaps herbicides were about to make a whole lot of money.
In 1961,
Here, I'll type that
the
for you.
president of South Korea was overthrowing his rule and uniting Vietnam under a communist regime. The Viet Cong were masters of the jungle.
What do you mean I got in the way? I was out of your way. I got my pick and then left and then you died. What is that code?
Vietnam was losing the war, so the president faced a choice. Either accept defeat or...
That time I got more in the way.
Yeah.
He reached out to his allies, the US, and asked them...
What's that up to?
And soon, they came in flying with thousands of barrels of herbicide. This was the start of Operation Ranch Hand. The US's herbicide of choice was Agent Orange, a 50-50 split of 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T, supplied by the US's biggest chemical manufacturers.
Cat.
The largest supplier by volume was Monsanto. Agent Orange ravaged through South Vietnam. And civilians and soldiers on both sides got sprayed with it too, mostly by accident. The government assured them that it is not toxic to humans, animals, or drinking water, but Monsanto and Dow knew
2
otherwise.
free AKs on the ground.
See, during Ranch Hand, they secretly exchanged information on their herbicides. And in one of the letters, Dow acknowledged that dioxin, which had been contaminating 2,4,5 for years, was the most toxic compound they had ever experienced, and that even trace amounts of it caused incapacitating accidents.
By 1965, it was obvious that both companies understood what sort of threat dioxin was. And yet, there are no records that Monsanto or Dow ever sent communication to the US government warning them about the threat.
In fact, Dow's vice president
Green,
reportedly
did you
said,
just die from
if the government
T-spawn?
learns about this, the whole industry will suffer.
I don't know.
As a
I'm
result,
like green, I'm
the
always
US
green.
sprayed
T-spawn.
South Vietnam with 72
Mid.
million gallons of orange,
Cat.
within which was just 80
Last
liters
cat.
of dioxin.
Take a
And
B.
even though that doesn't seem like much, the damage was irreparable. Civilians and soldiers on both sides suffered from skin diseases and cancer. Children were born with physical and mental disabilities. By some estimates, as many as 3 million people suffered
This
from the
is the
effects of
stupidest
Agent
thing ever.
Orange.
Stupidest.
5,000 scientists signed a petition to the president condemning his use of the herbicides. And Monsanto was under scrutiny too, because regulators were catching on to the dioxin contained in 2,4,5-T. The herbicide was about to be phased out, compromising
Go
their
ahead.
bottom line.
Nading along like
needed
a pro.
miracle, and they needed it fast.
You already know.
Their idea was to replace 2,4,5-T with a safer herbicide. But after 9 years of research, they weren't getting anywhere. All of the scientists in the agricultural department referred to this new initiative as the Great Barrier.
The last remaining scientist on the
Green, I got
project
mid.
was
And you
John
just said I got
Frank,
mid this week.
and by
B,
early
B, B.
1970, he was about to give it up too. But before abandoning the project,
Green, you're
he
getting
decided
away.
to do one final set.
Whoa!
So he thought out 19 possible accidents that maybe work as herbicides and decided to
One guy.
but nothing. The plant was completely fine and the herbicide had no activity. Then he decided to test the second herbicide, and he applied it to a plant. It was 10 times more powerful than any herbicide you have ever seen. And allegedly, it made the plant super nasty. It made the plant super nasty. Oh, that was disgusting.
This miracle compound was glyphosate, a phosphonic
Nothing. Oh,
group on
one
one
BD.
end and a carboxyl group on the other, with a nitrogen, hydrogen, or
They went
amino
lower.
group in between.
To make sure it was commercially feasible, France and his colleagues set up tests in these outdoor fields. And as one of the scientists was getting back to these test sites, he saw the results from the plane. It was clear as day. All he could do is write Eureka across the performance report.
Play for
It was
pigs.
the best herbicide they'd ever seen.
So what made it so great at killing plants? Well, for plants to survive, they use a chemical pathway, a series of reactions to create 3 important amino acids, acids without which they die. This process is known as the shikimate pathway because it starts with shikimic acid, named after the Japanese shikimi flower. During one of the steps, 2 acids, S3P and PEP, need to transform into a third compound, but they can only do that with the help of an enzyme called EPSPS, which catalyzes the reaction and helps the 2 molecules combine. However, if glyphosate is present during this reaction, it will begin to mimic PEP because they have a very similar geometry. And because of that, glyphosate actually binds first to EPSPS, blocking it from acting as terrorists win. Can't transform, and the whole shikimate pathway is destroyed. Without it, there are no amino acids and the plant dies. Crucially, the shikimate pathway is unique to plants and things like bacteria and fungi. Humans and animals don't have it. In fact, we have to eat foods that contain these 3 amino acids.
But for Monsanto, this was good news because they could market that
That's
glyphosate
right.
targets an enzyme found in plants, but not in humans or pets. So after toxic
The
products,
tunnels upper.
Monsanto finally had one which they were sure was safe. And research was also showing that after you
I
store
need one more
glyphosate, the microorganisms in the soil break it down into safe byproducts. It was biodegradable. Glyphosate was perfect. So they wasted no time in getting it on the market. In 1974, Monsanto had a new hit herbicide, Roundup.
Roundup is better. It goes through the plant to kill it. Tops and rhizomes.
My roots are real bad, Hank. Roundup, no roots.
Farmers farmers loved it because, unlike 2,4-D, glyphosate killed everything, not just broadleaf ones, but grassy too. It allowed them to practice something called no-till farming. See, usually, to get rid of weeds, you have to plow up the entire field. Counter-terrorist win. You're right on. But with Roundup, what you do is you spray the whole field, everything dies, and then you just plant directly into the residue. It was easier, faster, and cheaper. And Roundup was safe to use too. They marketed it as safer than table salt and safe enough to drink, basically.
Roundup can be used where kids and pets will play.
Roundup can.
By the late 80s, Monsanto was selling 7 million pounds.
Throwing a grenade.
And they weren't going to share a penny of that money with anyone.
See, with other herbicides,
Nothing.
like, for example, Allosaur, which was moderately popular at the time,
They are pushing cat from mid right now. Oh, right on mid cat right now.
So if you patented a specific
Two of them guaranteed pushing a cat now. Making noise to distract them.
Dying from the guy made you do
Dang. One of them is on mid their side.
Herbicidal properties were completely gone. So Monsanto could rest easy knowing that
That was something nice.
How did he get long?
Ooh.
There was a little problem with glyphosate. See, unlike 2,4-D, which only killed broadleaf weeds, Roundup kills everything. I sprayed some of my own houseplants here, and, well, you can see the results. Chances are, if it's green, Roundup is going to kill it. And this was a problem because farmers could only use Roundup country. Twice.
Shoot everything.
Planting the seeds, or right after a harvest.
Laying down smoke.
But much of a problem. They thought if we can somehow make a crop like soybean or corn resistant to Roundup, well then farmers would spray it on their field during the whole year, and it would keep killing the weeds, but not the Roundup-resistant crops. Crops which Monsanto would sell.
Fire in the hole.
And as a result,
Incendiary out.
herbicide and the seeds of life.
Monsanto's idea was this.
Grenade
If
out.
glyphosate blocks the EPSPS enzyme in plants, then they could edit the plant's DNA so that the cells just create more EPSPS. If there's enough of the enzyme, then glyphosate can't block all of it, and so the plant can still survive. They tried this out on petunias, but it didn't work. The flowers would survive a tiny amount of Roundup, but a normal dose would still kill them.
Monsanto was kind of stumped, and
Counter-terrorist win.
while glyphosate and Roundup were under their patents, a Roundup-resistant seed wasn't, and their competitors knew this. In 1985, a company called Calgene published a paper in Nature showing that they made tobacco slightly resistant to glyphosate. The paper showed promise, but more importantly, it made it clear to Monsanto that they were running out of time. Their researchers were desperate, calling this patent race a Manhattan Project. Then one of the engineers had a genius idea.
Nice
Monsanto
flash.
had a ton of factories where they were converting phosphate into glyphosate. And they had a lot of sludge leaching out of these factories.
Grenade out.
What's your problem?
Around these factories, in this
Incendiary
sludge,
out.
was resistant to glyphosate. So the researchers went to one of these factories, scooped it out, and found a strain of salmonella in there, which is kind of surprising because salmonella usually relies on the shikimate.
And what you get?
But here it was thriving in glyphosate.
Cat.
Monsanto's scientists isolated the salmonella's genetic sequence instead of finding a way to mutate the shape of its EPSPS enzyme, so that glyphosate couldn't bind to it and block the shikimate pathway.
The scientists took that salmonella DNA and loaded it onto a gene gun. Not this one here, but it's actually
thousands of these salmonella DNA strips onto microscopic gold particles in a gene gun, which they then fired.
Aren't you literally at the bottom of the leaderboard?
At 1,400 kilometers per hour.
Yes, I
The
am.
gold particles would bombard
Not you,
plant
Blue.
cells, and
You're
some of
middle
them would
fragging.
make it into the nucleus.
No, I am.
Here, the DNA detaches from
No,
the gold and
yeah.
integrates itself into the plant's chromosomes.
All right. If you want it that
As
bad.
the cell divides, it copies over the new EPSPS gene.
Monsanto scientists planted seeds with these genes
Throwing smoke.
and sprayed them into the ground. But nothing happened. The soybean was resistant. Monsanto made sure to act quickly. Soon after, they found even more potent bacteria,
One
and they were
lower.
able to make other crop species immune too.
And by 1998, they had patents for glyphosate-resistant canola, corn, and cotton. They called called this lineup of GMO seeds Roundup Ready. These Roundup Ready seeds just hit the market in an instant. Already, more than 70% of all soybeans grown in the U.S. are Monsanto's, with Roundup making them more than $2.5 billion a year. It was the best-selling agricultural product ever.
And every farmer could join in on this Roundup plus
Bonsby.
Roundup Ready revolution just by signing use agreements. I got one of these agreements from 2011 here, and I just wanted to read some terms. So the grower, or the farmer, who accepts and wants to use these seeds, agrees to not save or clean any crop produced from the seed for planting, and the farmer also agrees not to supply the seed produced from the seed to anyone for planting. Meaning you cannot save the seed last year to plant. You also cannot share or sell your seeds to anyone else. Here's another one. The farmer agrees to identify and allow Monsanto and its representatives access to the land. This allows Monsanto to examine and take samples of the crops, crop residue, or the seeds located therein. And here's a final one. The grower accepts the terms of the following notice requirement by signing this agreement or by opening a bag of seeds. So you're agreeing to these terms even just by opening a bag of seeds.
One to the side.
If you thought that this contract was crazy, you should see the stuff that we sign up to today online. I have some terms and conditions here from a social media website. Here's what it says. We may collect biometric identifiers for your attributes such as age range, so they're able to scan your face and sell that data to advertisers. And just in the last couple of months, companies have been making aggressive pushes to their terms and conditions to try and get more of your data, and they can use it to train AI models or just sell it to data.
I'll be pushing cat on that.
Phone calls. Law enforcement can buy it, and normal people can buy it too. Any stuff that's your location is, and all of that is perfectly legal. But luckily, we take steps to prevent it with the help of today's sponsor, Incogni. See, I started using Incogni in June. Look, you can see that they already contacted 46 data brokers to delete my personal data, and 42 of those requests have been completed, and I've actually been getting fewer spam. The new thing is that they now offer an unlimited plan with custom removals. So if you are browsing online and see a website with your data, even though it shouldn't have the data, you can ask one of Incogni's experts to manually take it down. And if you want to extend that sort of protection to someone else, they also have a family plan that supports up to 5 members. To try it, go to incogni.com/Veritasium and use the code Veritasium to get 60% off. You can also use this QR code. That's incogni.com/Veritasium, or you can also click the link in the description. I want to thank Incogni for sponsoring this part of the video, and now back to farmers and the terms and conditions they have.
Mid-doors.
Well, couldn't farmers just decide not to use Monsanto's seeds and herbicides?
The thing was, if you have Roundup Ready seeds and you spray them with Roundup, everything's going to be fine on your end. But your neighbor doesn't have Roundup Ready seeds, so if the herbicide drifts over to your neighbor's side, it's going to kill his plants. So neighbors were concerned, thinking their crops were going to be lost, so they got Roundup Ready as well, and soon enough, Monsanto controlled the whole market.
And the control didn't end there. As one seed grower from Ohio remembers it, Monsanto's salesmen would tell people they could either sign on or they'd all be out of business within the next 2 years. Monsanto was going to dominate the entire seed industry, and there was nothing anybody could do about it.
So hundreds of thousands of farmers signed the deal, and it wasn't a good one.
One evening in late July 2004, an Indiana farmer named Dave Runyon was relaxing at home when 2 men knocked on his door.
They led me to believe that they were doing a survey for a magazine. They wanted to know what kind of crops I planted. They wanted to know what kind of herbicides I used, the seed I bought and purchased and used.
Runyon wasn't interested, so he decided to shut the door when he heard one of the men say, "I think he's guilty." Runyon didn't know what they meant, but a few months later, he got a letter from Monsanto saying that he had 7 days to turn over all of his business records to the company.
He was shocked because Runyon was one of the few farmers that never signed a contract with Monsanto, and yet here they were threatening to sue him for patent infringement.
Apparently, someone had tipped Monsanto off that Runyon had been replanting their seeds illegally. and farmers all across the country were getting the same types of letters.
Honestly, it's kind of hard to overstate how much Monsanto tried to control farmers. They sent private detectives and ex-cops to inspect farms all over the US, waving their terms and conditions of the contract into farmers' faces to let them onto their property. They hired plane and helicopter pilots to survey the farmlands from above for signs of infringement.
The lawsuits, the threats, how could people possibly stand up to them?
And they even had a company hotline, 1-800-ROUNDUP, that farmers could call to snitch on their neighbors.
It still exists. 1-800-ROUNDUP.
You're calling them now?
I think I got it right.
If you have information about the misuse of seed or a compliance issue, please press 3.
That phone number was in existence in the same time that we're talking about there, where people could rat out, their neighbor.
As Runyon himself puts it, there is much mistrust in the countryside today. You never know who might report on you. You could actually willfully plant unauthorized seed in somebody's land if you want to destroy them.
Now, in 2010, Monsanto responded to farmers' concerns about these investigations and released a commitment statement regarding their patents. They mentioned their pledge to transparency and ethical behavior, properly introducing themselves with displayed identification, and not
The Federal Reserve made its long-awaited decision on interest rates this week. The Fed decided to lower the federal funds rate by a quarter point. That was widely expected. But many people sitting on the sidelines when it comes to buying or refinancing a home took note of mortgage rates. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate dropped to 6.26%. That's the fourth consecutive weekly drop. It's also the lowest rate in nearly a year. And still yet, there are growing concerns about tariffs and other Trump policies and their impact on prices of everyday essentials. Let's discuss this all with nationally syndicated personal finance columnist Terry Savage. She's also the author of The Savage Truth on Money. Good morning, Terry. Thank you so much for being here with us. I have so many questions for you, but let's start here. Okay. All right.
Well, it depends on the real you're on. Are you a borrower or a lender? The Fed, we hear so much about the power of the Fed.
I'll flash you out long.
They set short-term interest rates. Short-term interest rates like overnight rates that banks lend to each other. They actually have less influence on longer-term rates. The United States is about $8 billion and we finance it
Ouchie.
Terrorists win. I fear no man. Bomb has been planted.
Cut rates, short-term rates by a full percentage point. Mortgage rates went up.
I'll flash you out long.
And just this week, although
They only have submachine guns.
longer-term rates inched up in the last 2 days.
Let's get this started.
Mortgage rates, so rates dropped in anticipation.
I throw the black back. Grenade out.
They want to lend at low rates. We're worried about that.
Terrorists win.
What's your take right now? Is it more feasible at the least, or even the right move today to try and buy a home?
Oh, sure, it absolutely
What now?
is. If you're
Watch the
securing your
mid-rush.
job, and that's
Let's go cat.
There's a
Roger.
lack of supply.
I'll smoke
All
Xbox.
those people that got their mortgages at 3% don't want to sell because if they move, they have to pay over 6 for a new mortgage. That gap is narrowing. But this historically, 6.25% is not much. There was a time when mortgage rates were 13 and 14% back in the early 90s. So if you're comfortable and secure in your job, which many people are these days, then you can your breath. First
They're
of
both
all,
there.
a lot of
You have to be happy for a minute there, Harry.
I know, I'm sorry about that. Well, in fact, I just look to buy coffee. Now, buy those K-cups, I'm not as embarrassed to admit. And I usually look for them at discount stores where they're like $50. Went up and is staying up because the tariffs continue to exist. So whether prices continue to rise depends on the items we're importing. In the winter, we'll see more of it because we import fruits and vegetables from Mexico and so forth. But I hope that we're going to see prices drop. Not for a long time, and it would cost. The guy's out. We had a terrible recession. People stopped buying prices. You can hope for prices to level off. That's what the Fed's hoping for. Fire in the hole. From very high levels, that's all cumulative. People who are on a fixed income.
Terry, what about consumer? What about furniture? Is there a sector that you're looking at where prices may fall? Grenade!
And a matter of fact, even the vegetables, you don't know with all the tariffs that have been paid, $1 trillion. Now, it looks like the consumer's strong and still strong. Where are they strong? Credit card debt is at an all-time buy now, pay later. It's not included. Carrying a record amount of debt. They're 2/3 of the economy. Coming up on the holiday season, higher prices exist. May go higher as more tariffs get passed through. It's going to be a very tricky season for retailers, figuring out how much they can raise prices, and for consumers, how much more they can charge.
Well, lots to look forward to, and still very focused, very sad.
Thank you.
Two there.
Jobs growth slowed to a crawl last month. I want to bring in CNN's Matt Hagan, who joins me now. So what are these numbers? What are we seeing in this?
Well, Omar, look, after years of resilience, the U.S. job market is extremely fragile, especially after the latest numbers that just came out. So this report just moments ago shows the U.S. economy added 22,000 jobs in August. That is very low. It's also just a fraction of the jobs that had been expected.
Door stinks.
That was expected, but this is notable because this is the highest unemployment rate since October of 2021, and it breaks a stretch where the unemployment rate had kind of stayed in a low range. Still, the big news here, though, is what happened as far as negotiations. We saw that July was revised.
Counter-terrorists win.
Negative 13,000 jobs. It's not quite showing up on that bar chart, but June is the first month where the U.S. economy lost jobs since December of 2020. This breaks a nearly 5 years of job growth, of uninterrupted job growth in the U.S. economy.
Give me one cap. Back off.
Hear me dead. Hear me dead.
Supporting the manufacturing industry. Instead, the manufacturing industry is actually losing jobs for 4 months in a row. Unemployment rate going back to 2020. You see that massive spike on the left side of the screen. Of course, that was COVID. Came down dramatically. You can see it is starting to tick higher. So I think you got to.
Terrorists win.
a little bit before this.
Up on the ground.
Actually came up just a tiny bit from where they were. Not a major reaction, I think, from investors. I think that's because, in a lot of ways, this report sealed the deal on an interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve. Wall Street was already thinking basically slam dunk.
Lower tens.
The unemployment rate is up. I think that's probably on a rate cut from the Fed, which is obviously something the White House has been calling for. Of course, they wanted a cut because of low inflation. That's probably not the reason, right? The reason is low.
And of course, it's the first job reports. I mean, the controversy over the regular reporting of jobs numbers last month, and so even these numbers could get revised in the future. But as you just laid out in June, the numbers could also get revised down.
Right, absolutely. Look, revisions are normal. It happens, right? As the BLS gets new survey responses from businesses they talk to, they're going to updates the data. These updates, though, they've been mostly coming into the downside, and again, showing that hiring has really stalled out, and it's negative for
I got shot by CT.
Keep that wall moment up, if you will, guys, especially with the revisions, because that was something that I know that Matt and I were talking about.
Coming up.
One more CT.
Global
One
economic
tunnels.
analyst Rana Faroohar, who's also the global business columnist and associate editor of the Financial Times. Matt laid out the numbers as they come in. Before we dive in,
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I've been thinking for some time that we were due for weakness, even possibly a recession.
Terrorists win. We will dance on your grave.
Tariffs are going to somehow bring back jobs.
We're going to do it.
Increasingly being done by technology. I think also that interest rate cut that Matt was talking about, we are probably going to see that in the fall, and that may keep the stock market up for a while. But ultimately, the market does connect with the economy, and if you continue to see a slowdown, you're probably going to see a market correction.
adding this.
Last one long.
What do you see in revisions and the uncertainty?
Terrorists win.
Just the gathering of this data.
Yeah, a really good question, Kate. The revisions, again, don't surprise me. We often see big revisions. It's about getting more data, parsing it through. It's really about being more accurate. This is almost always the case. So, not surprising. In terms of the politicization of the Fed,
Flashbang out. Throw in the flashbang. Throw the flashbang.
You've got to let investors at home and abroad know that they can trust the data. Where bankers just get fired or
Could be.
get fired because the president doesn't like it. We know what happens in those countries. They have major financial crises. Turkey's a perfect example. So I am really hoping, frankly, that if we do get a maybe there's a little bit of pressure off of
Even suggested last night he's not even sure that he's going to trust the data, or at least
the real numbers that I'm talking about are going to be whatever it is, but maybe a year from now with these monstrous, huge, beautiful places, the
terrorists win. Yeah.
You're seeing, I think you'll see those numbers absolutely incredible.
He's like, I don't know, let's talk about it in a year. I mean, but you were getting at what's important, which when you get all this data, and then you've got people looking to the Fed, what's going to happen? Why would people want to invest in the United States when the president?
Let's move. Come on, hurry up.
Maybe you trust our economic data, maybe not.
Throwing flashbang.
And the gold.
Flashbang.
Every single Overseas folks don't want our treasuries anymore. That's why they're going into gold. New record is probably going to go higher. Don't know if that makes anybody feel good. Doesn't make me feel great. But yeah, these are serious.
I was like, I'm trying to look at your face. I was like, so what's Rhoda saying? Much more to parse through with this. Omar.
A lot to talk about here. Joining us now, CNN political commentator Kate Bedingfield. Also with us this morning, Republican strategist Neil Chatterjee. So let's start on the jobs numbers. Neil, I'll start with you. Reaction to what we're seeing here.
Counter-terrorists win.
It's going to take time. The president is elected to be a change agent. And some of the steps he's taking on the trade front, energy, on pushing AI and data centers, it will take time for this to be reflected in the economy in jobs reports. So
let's go, my brother.
Disappointing numbers for sure.
Throwing flashbang. I'm through with the flashbang.
Tried to make the argument that some of the economic pieces that Biden had put into place would yield benefit over time. And they may well, but that's not a great argument. And as we see, the data shows people are confident about the economy and some have doing things like fighting BLS and bringing less credibility to government data. Continues to create this sense that things are not on the right track.
Above me.
And I think this is going to be a political problem for him. And these numbers reinforce what people are feeling all across the country.
Oh.
Terrorists win. Spin bloody testic.
New this morning, President Trump's efforts to reshape trade policy have taken a hit after a federal appeals court ruled that most of his sweeping global tariffs are unlawful. However, the ruling will not take effect until at least October 14th. Now, that gives the Trump administration time to file an appeal with the Supreme Court.
Time to move, knucklehead.
Data analyst Harry Ensign joins me now on how Americans are feeling about tariffs. For Trump's base and supporters, at one point, they were really giving him
One backside.
It was the overall American public, and they turned against tariffs the same way college football players have turned against parties on Saturday. Look at this. New tariffs on imported goods. You go back to look, the popular position would favor. They favored new tariffs on imported goods. 52%, 48% opposed. You go to this side of the ledger, look at that. The opposition up like a rocket. We're talking about 60% opposing new tariffs compared to just 40% who favored. So it was majority favor back when Trump was re-elected in November of 2024. Now it's a clear 3 in 5 Americans oppose it. The Americans have gotten a taste of the tariffs and they spit it right out.
So is the taste paying more? I mean, because they've always described this as actually a tax on consumers.
Yes, it's exactly the opposition up like a rocket. It all comes down to the pocketbook, right? Impact of tariffs on prices. Look at this in the short term. 77% of Americans now agree they increased, they raised prices in the short term. Look at this itty-bitty number at the bottom. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. When you can back and count it on your own hand, you know it's a small percentage. Just 4% of Americans believe that in the short term, tariffs decrease prices.
These guys don't have a chance in hell. This is what we train for.
suicide.
Incendiary out.
Long. 3 long.
Cat. Last mid.
Last one mid burst.
Counter-terrorists win. There we go. We work together, and all of us are coming home. Good stuff. Laying down smoke. Grenade out.
Footsteps up her.
Yeah.
Maybe they went lower.
Counter-terrorists win. All right, all right. Oh, it's a piece of cake, so it is. Watch out. These boys have got a bit of an arsenal and they don't mind using it. Smoke! Throwing fire.
Okay. 1 cat.
Cat. 2 cat at
Laying
least.
down smoke. Deploying flashbang. Smoke.
On cat. Coming on site.
Grenade out. Bomb has been planted.
2 on site, 2 on site.
1 left.
Goose.
Defusing the bomb. Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win. We took the piss out of them. We're really laying into them. Grenade. Throwing a grenade.
Too long, I
Throwing
think.
smoke. Throwing flashbang.
2 cat.
Throwing fire. Terrorists win. Let's have it, lads. Grenade out. Grenade out.
One mark. One, last one, bunker. Or pit.
Still pit occupied.
Grenade. Incendiary out.
He's low.
Grenade out. Grenade out. Counter-terrorists win. There's no stopping us.
Panels.
Lower tents.
Flashbang out. Laying down smoke.
Cat.
Throwing flashbang. Flashbang.
On A side.
Counter-terrorists win. Nice. Let's move out. Smoke. Grenade out.
Flashes B.
Flashbang.
Park.
Throwing flashbang. Bomb has been laying down smoke. Terrorists win. You're right on. You're right on.
Mid.
Terrorists win. What on? Throwing smoke.
B.
Terrorists win. Move it, son. Flashbang. Throwing fire.
Flashes bomb.
Laying down smoke. Throwing fire.
Last one cat.
Counter-terrorists win. Right on. Hey, we give them a spanking.
Just
spend an hour hollowing a cucumber for when my mom makes salad tomorrow and she gets pranks.
If you guess what it is, you get £100. Try it. Yeah, I know, it's 4 degrees, unfortunately. So what do you think it is? See, that's what everyone thinks. But however, we're trying to educate people that dog meat is actually really tasty, and we try to legalize it in the UK. It's a German Shepherd, by the way. His name was Ben.
Who's been f***ing the cucumber? Who's been f***ing the cucumber?
Just spend an hour hollowing a cucumber for when my mom makes salad tomorrow and she gets pranks. Let's roll.
What map is this?
Go get that money.
My frames are better now. The update sucks, but I managed to get my frames good.
This is my second time playing this map.
Nice. I like this map a lot.
They love to sacrifice themselves against us.
I'm just following the road.
I flash.
I saw one.
We had it. We had it. Somehow messed up.
It's okay, it's a new map.
It's mid. How about we try A? Or no, mid.
Forward!
Where are we going?
Let's try A.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Counter-terrorists win.
We probably should have tried mid.
Where's mid?
You follow us.
This?
See where you're heading right now. I black.
One slower.
try mid again, just this time try not to get Zeus.
Mid seems like you get shot from A, B, and mid.
I had it. I don't know what happened.
Here, you can go.
Good job, boys.
Let's go, my brother. Throwing smoke. I throw the flashbang.
Setting up some fire.
Fire in the hole! Grenade! Grenade out! Throwing bomb!
Dude, had a low mag.
I like A. A seems fun.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's just sometimes you run into sweats or cheetahs.
In the middle.
In the middle.
Come on, let's go.
In the middle.
Throw the flashbang! Grenade!
Okay. There you go.
I heard one on A side. Watch out. From CT spawn. You're getting shot from behind.
A side low.
Yeah, he's lit.
Counter-terrorists win.
Someone got me a flash.
Tis victory, my sisters and brothers.
Sorry.
Smoking.
Oh, we're going.
If you try to smoke too soon, they know it's A.
I flash for you, Blade.
Flashbang! Fire in the hole! I'm throwing a grenade!
Got one jungle, one underneath.
They all know I'm here.
Counter-terrorists win.
They all know I'm here.
Middle and B.
Yeah, let's do a Mac 10 rush.
Middle seems like many ops.
Mac 10 Russian.
Hell yeah.
Bomb's going down. Set up perimeter. Bomb.
One more long.
Terrorists win. We are the best.
One more shop.
Oh, I actually think that might work.
Don't give me Zeus. I accidentally switched to it.
Bring bomb B.
Yeah, B
Bring
looks
bomb B.
fun.
Good job. Good job.
Go, go, go.
Wow. Net jitters are bad.
You're right. You hear him above you. Never mind.
Yeah, I got 8 health though.
Counter-terrorists win.
Oh wait, you have up. Never mind.
Mac 10 rush.
I had to cover flash.
How did I get that flash?
Careful, careful. 2 right there. 2 mid. They're gonna come catwalk. Wait, you got another one over there.
Good.
Yes.
I fear no man.
Holy crap, grab the op. You're good, man.
If we're not rushing mid, don't flash it.
Come on, let's go.
Got it.
Smoking. Grenade.
Got one by me.
Ah, green. Sounds like behind us, green.
I got it. Let's rotate A. I think we need to bring that bomb back.
Grenade out.
Jungle.
Planting the bomb.
Bomb has been planted.
Watch behind you, Warren. Got a lot of utility.
Near me. Yellow mark.
Oh, spawn. CT spawn. Yes.
Yellow mark.
Dude, I usually get like 10 kills by now.
Let's show them who
Me
we
too.
are.
I haven't played in like a week, so.
Hey, we're on the CT side.
Yeah. Check out my USPS.
Let's go, let's go. Grenade.
They're A. At least 3 A.
Terrorists win.
At least 3 A. Green pants.
Going to the van B.
Got it.
Russian in apartments.
Let's have at it, mates. Throwing fire.
One hit on A.
Dude, it's too big.
They all ran back to B.
Bomb has been planted. chop. Throwing flashbang.
I don't think they moved yet.
Either mid or A.
Rotating. Gotta get the B, mid. And green, you got one coming up on you.
Bomb has been planted.
I see one window. Both windows.
Hit the bomb, go ahead, go ahead. Cover him, other side, other side. Good work.
Counter-terrorists win. Now we're getting stuck right into them. Ready here? Let's go.
A push.
Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win.
Do you guys get stomach ache when you take Ozempic?
Never taken it.
Oh,
Why do you have one?
hell yeah.
I'm not no doctor, but you should probably just chill, you know? Sit down, drink some water.
No way. Need to get it to 100 pounds.
True.
A live crayfish is placed into a heated mold. Then the lid is closed tight. It's pressed flat under pressure. A moment later, the lid is opened, and a fossil-like pancake appears. This is Japan's seafood senbei because of its fossil-like appearance. It's also called fossil senbei. Originally, it was made with small octopus. At that time, they used only properly prepared ingredients. But as it grew in popularity, the recipe expanded, eventually including shellfish and crustaceans. The craze even spread to neighboring countries. But in China, some started using live crayfish. This drew criticism over cruelty and hygiene concerns. Still, it remains popular. What do you think? A live crayfish is placed into a heated mold. Then the lid is closed tight. It's pressed flat under pressure.
Remember, this isn't the killing house anymore. This is real life.
And a fossil-like pancake.
You won that last one? I can say it again.
because of its fossil-like appearance. It's also called fossil senbei. Originally, it was made with small octopus. At that time, it used only properly
apartment.
One out. The recipe expanded, eventually including shellfish. But live crayfish. This drew criticism over cruel. Still, it remains popular. The live crayfish is placed into a heated mold. Then the lid.
Counter-terrorists win. Well, that's clear, lads.
A moment later, the lid is open, and a fossil-like pancake appears. This is Japan's seafood senbei because of its fossil-like appearance. It's also called fossil senbei. Originally, it was made with small octopus. At that time, they used only properly prepared ingredients. But as it grew in popularity, the recipe expanded, eventually including shellfish and crustaceans. The craze even spread to neighboring countries. But in China, some started using live crayfish. This drew criticism. Still, it remains popular. What do you think?
Okay.
A live crayfish is placed into a heated mold. Then the lid is closed. Press flat under pressure. A moment later,
One on
the
the
lid
catwalk.
is open.
Coming up.
Fossil-like pancake appears. Because of its fossil-like appearance, it's also called fossil senbei. Originally, it was made with small octopus. At that time, it was very properly prepared ingredients. But as it grew in popularity, the recipe expanded.
Guess it's B.
Bin Laden made.
Bomb has been planted. Deploying flashbang.
Hey, I don't think we can get it.
Wait.
Get. Oh, shit. Ah, buddy. Good try.
Terrorists win. Let's go. Grenade out.
Got one mid, right bomb mid.
I hear one B. Guess it's A. My luck. I got bomb. Hey, I still got bomb.
Bomb has been planted. Grenade. Throwing fire. Terrorists win.
Good game, guys. Good plan.
Enjoy that you always had those in one tap.
Hey, bomb. I still have bomb. Silver rankings? Wait, I don't get ranked yet. Damn it.
Let's roll. Out of here.
Nading along like a pro.
So.
Wait,
You
Stanley.
guys just play this? You just played Dust or what?
Wait, what the fuck?
What up,
Wait, did we queue together?
I think we were on the
Yo,
other
wait, JK Madness? Wait, are you on my friends list?
Nah, no way we didn't queue together.
Yo, that's crazy.
Long.
You're like, either way, you're fucking coming and be my teammate, dickhead. Yo, what's good, man?
I'm chilling.
Yeah, I just got my second Koger from the new fucking collection. And I'm so lucky because one of them, the one from today was like 106, but luckily the first one I pulled was Battle Scar for 46, and I was like, that's literally the most I want to spend on these.
Yeah.
Then I spent
I got
a little more.
You know the MP7 smoking kills?
Oh hell yeah, that one's clean.
Dude, I got the #1 lowest flow in the world.
Ooh, let's go. That's tough.
And then the Glock with like the mirrors on it and shit. I got that one too.
Hey, I got that one. I got a
love
bunch
that
of those
skin.
for some reason. Yeah, it's clean. I wish I got one stat track though.
Facts. Oh shit, yellow's opening.
Oh.
Nah, the next one's a Doppler, trust.
Yeah, I believe.
I'll rip another one for the boys.
Let's go.
Can you send me
The
some?
luck. I feel the luck in the air tonight.
Yeah, I was in a game yesterday. Somebody unboxed a Kukri Safari Mesh.
Ooh, shit. Let's go.
The same shit.
Name of that MP7's pretty funny.
Alright, so I'm in the middle of reviewing these new iPhones, which are pretty interesting, but, you know, they're new iPhones, so they're iterative. And then Meta, of course, decides to also have an event.
Dude, that's hot shit. Hot trash.
So I put that down for a second, I fly back out to California, and what Meta has to show
Nah,
is
you gotta open up Fevers, that's where it's at.
Yeah, for me it's always Spectrums.
I saw this.
I pulled a
I made a
FAC
video
new
about it. These are
000
Meta's
float
Orion
fucking
AR prototypes, which were super
Bloodsport
cool.
on my first case the
Overlaid
other day,
software
but other than
onto
that
the
I've gotten 4
but
trade
they could
ups
never
for
sell these things because the
Bloodsports
materials alone
successfully.
cost like 10 grand, and
2
they're a bit
or
too
3 of them
cumbersome,
were
and they have a
20%,
whole
one of them was
separate stick with a
30%.
computer in it that's nearby.
Very nice.
They overheat. the battery lasts
Yeah,
like
Bloodsports, I don't know, they've always been good
concept,
to me.
maybe
That would be my advice.
but not a real product. Now,
Long.
Fuck.
And it's the Meta Ray-Ban
Oh shit, they're coming long.
One A site.
updated version of the Meta Ray-Ban, and it's
CT.
massively better than the Orion. These are it's only showing up.
No, it should be CT or cat.
And it's fixed
CT.
lower into the but it's still plenty sharp, 42 pixels per degree to be exact, and more than bright enough to be seen outdoors. I tried these things outdoors. It's up to 5,000 nits. So it's like a real-life little HUD in the corner of your vision that you can turn on or off at any time. And you still control everything through a neural band on your wrist that uses surface EMG going through your arm as you make different gestures that you pretty
Laying down smoke, deploying flashbangs.
with pretty good accuracy. You can scroll up, scroll down, select,
Throwing fire.
go
Flash
forward,
mid.
backward, and even
I think I might hear you to long or
pushing
mid.
in the air and twisting slowly.
They're smoking
And
off
I'm gonna
mid.
try to just keep thinking. The rate
Yeah, they're
of
pushing long.
improvement is kind of insane. For example, it's very evident. Like you can see clearly when someone is with the Orion glasses. Now, when I pull something up on the display, it's basically invisible to the outside world. The light leak is nearly completely gone.
trap law.
And of course, this is a much smaller field of view, but it's pretty impressive that from most angles, there is virtually no way to see that I'm looking at something on the screen in these glasses. Even
angles when the light hits just right, all you can really tell is that these glasses do have a waveguide in them, and I seem to be counter-terrorist win. We're really laying into them. That's it. And for the neural band, the controls have gotten even more refined and precise. So back when I tried it 10 months ago, it was pretty good, but you know, the idea of doing text input by just drawing letters in midair with your hand was just an idea. Now, it's an actual feature, and it's maybe the most reliable, quickest method of text input that I've tried with these. It's absolutely insane. I was writing whole sentences, first try, quickly, with no errors. It was nuts. There's also no separate computer puck necessary for these, like there was with the prototype. Everything is self-contained in the glasses. With
2OB.
Definitely kind of thick, you know, a little less crazy than the Orions, but you can still tell some going on.
Top ton.
They weigh 69 grams. Nice. So just as a non-glasses wearer, they're just terrorists win. Of course, you cannot underestimate how much aesthetics matter if you're gonna be wearing this computer on your face. Like, there needs to be some element of fashion. I think they look better in person than they do on camera. And there's also two colors, either black or sand. And they actually come with a matching color. Go, go, go! Oh, and a charging case. The charging case is also pure genius. It can either hold the glasses inside, or take them out and throw them down flat in 2 seconds, and still has enough room for 4
Decoy on B.
Two top
this
mid.
did not get attention for how awesome it was because it came in the middle of a keynote that was kind of an absolute disaster.
They're in
some
mid,
other
back
ways,
of mid
but
right now.
I'm impressed with the charging case. Now, here's the thing. These Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses have been out for like 4 years now, and they let you talk to the Metas. Bomb has been planted. Fire in the hole. But I'm fairly confident when use of these apply to POV videos. So the real question you might be asking is, all right, Marquez, what does adding a display into the glasses actually get you? And I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you asked, because I have the answers now. So number one, first and foremost, you can obviously see the UI of the glasses instead of just relying entirely on voice commands. So if you want to do something in the UI, that's advantage number one. Terrorists win. You can actually see the viewfinder capturing, and you can review pictures and videos after you've taken them. That's also pretty useful. Number three, messaging and even video calls on your glasses are pretty sick. So if you're in a video call, you can see the person you're talking to, and the person on the other end is forward-facing camera, straight POV. Then number four, maps, which I think are pretty killer. We'll talk about this with the class. If you go to navigate somewhere, you can open up the maps, and then get turn-by-turn directions and a rotating map that tracks with
Yeah, it's 3 long ones lit.
Which someone like me with a terrible sense of direction.
One cap.
So clutch. And then number 5 is subtitling. It uses in front of you, and then put that live text on the HUD of exactly what they're saying. And it works pretty quickly. And if that speech is in another language, you can live translate everything. Terrorists win. Again, so good. And this is all being wrapped into a real product that you can buy this year with a real price tag that is $800. Which, yeah, it's expensive. It's the price of a whole phone, but it's actually a little bit less expensive than I maybe would have guessed before actually hearing
Let's
that.
make this right as rain.
I'm surprised that Meta's actually spending money on hardware here in an effort to just get them out and get them in people's hands. That also conveniently brings us to maybe the biggest downside of this particular product, which is that it
Pushing cat. What? Nah, he's lit. So lit.
Already, but it also does mean
One
you still
lower
have
and
the
one top mid still fish. Two lower.
They're going lower. They're going lower with bomb.
One on cat.
Terrorists video calls on the glasses. That's also WhatsApp. That's not Google Maps. It's their own mapping service, which I can guarantee won't have the best real-time traffic info or ratings like Google Maps has. And they'll even let you scroll through Instagram Reels, because Meta owns Instagram. The only exception I saw to this rule was music providers on Twitch. But as of right now, or at launch, there is no App Store for these.
Grenade out.
Incendiary out. They have been
Earn tons.
this. Like I said,
Two more
less than
tons,
a
sorry.
year ago was that crazy prototype with the separate computer and the $10,000 bill of sale. Now here we are. It's just. And I know we're expecting other entries into the smart glasses space, probably within the next couple of months. I think from Samsung, Google, and maybe some others. But as of right now, these are the best smart glasses.
Another one up
I've
there.
tried, hands down. And you know the sad thing
Good
is,
guy on the outside. Ramps up.
at all. The keynote.
Counter-terrorist.
Holy shit! About as poorly as they possibly could have. I watched it
Wait.
live. You get to watch.
Oh,
that
let me
back,
grab
you'll know what I'm
one.
talking about. And it's unfortunate because the product is so cool.
Thanks,
and
baby
I gotta
doll.
give them props for
Here's your scout.
trying to do real demos instead of faking everything, I guess. But yeah, this isn't going to be convincing anyone.
What do I do first?
Let's go.
You've already combined the base ingredients, so now grate a carrot to add to the sauce.
Throwing smoke.
What do I do first?
Flashbang.
You've already combined the
Oh my
base
god.
ingredients, so now grate the
Incendiary.
Bomb down long doors.
Two top
I
mid.
think the Wi-Fi might be messed up.
Deploying
There
flashbang.
we go. Uh-oh. Well, let's see.
Emerging in the cat.
That's too bad. I don't know what happened. The irony of the whole thing is that you spend
He's lit,
years
long door.
making technology and the Wi-Fi at the day kind of catches you.
So, yeah, there's a distinct lack of good videos using this tech. And
Throwing fire.
Have your suicide blue.
come out in a
He's in.
pretty significant wave of all this new content.
He's mid right now.
The cool stuff people
coming
get
back.
to do with it, from the live
Okay, he's lit
captioning
long door.
to the maps to the AI stuff that it's capable of all at once. People are just going to start flooding the internet with content about it. But yeah, seeing how fast these improved, actually, for the first time in my life, thinking about if it could bring us closer to a post-smartphone world, which is obviously still super fast.
Counter-terrorists win. There's no stopping us.
But, you know, imagine a world where you're walking around on a scenic hike and you see a cool scene, and instead of taking your phone out and putting a computer between you and the scene, you just, you know, snap the picture on your glasses and you just appreciate it. Seems nice, right? Then again, would you rather be talking to someone and see them check their phone
Throwing
or their
fire.
smartwatch?
Smoke mid.
Grenade.
That's kind of rude.
Incendiary.
Or you're talking to someone who's
Yeah, one's still top left.
1 tons. 2 tons.
They just kinda glance down.
Laying down smoke.
Ow!
It's subtle, but
Flashbang.
for actually. Something that they
Throwing a grenade.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you very soon. In
Throwing fire.
We have bomb here, no?
Yep. Well, maybe we don't.
He just picked it up.
No, he's here.
Nice screen.
Thank you. Yeah, this is my first match on, so I'm a little rusty.
several days into my iPhone
So a
17
wee bit rusty.
series testing. So definitely get subscribed to see the full reviews.
It's all good, just
right when
spray
they
and
come
pray.
out. They're in the works.
For real.
But I always like to do each year a bit of an unboxing and like a second look at
Let's
new
go.
things outside of the very chaotic environment that is the hands-on area at Apple Park. And answer some FAQs and do some benchmarks and get some photo samples in and just get familiar with these phones. So that's what we're gonna do. I've got the
Fuck,
iPhone
I got outplayed.
17
Just one
Pro
wrong.
Max. This is actually
Grenade
2
out.
terabyte.
Throwing flashbang.
$1,000 most
One lower.
expensive iPhone you can buy this year. A 17 Pro in the new blue color, so I got the two.
2 long,
colors.
1 lower.
The green 17 sideways. for
Damn,
the
bruh.
one.
Damn.
It's also
Yeah, he's lit though.
and
To your right.
Oh,
it's a bit of a red flag
Oh, I thought my teammate killed him.
The experiences with these phones unboxing them is typically the same from year to year, but I do like to check just to make sure. This base iPhone, I really am thinking is potentially the best deal they've had in the lineup in a long time. This green color, I actually kind of really like the green.
Grenade out.
Glossy with the
Flashes B.
satin.
Throwing flashbang.
Something like that. You do get that USB-C cable integrated in the box, and then you get some paperwork. You don't get stickers.
One on site, one's boosting your
That's
tons.
the days of the past, but you still do get. You don't need it. And that's basically nothing else that comes with.
Deploying flashbang.
It's extremely minimal. Let's do the pros. The pros should be pretty similar, but I do want to look at the lighting environment. I think the orange is the most controversial color. I've only seen takes of people either hating on it or loving it. I think I kind of like it, but I also kind of liken it to like a bright shirt. You know, it looks good on me in the moment, but I might not want to wear it every single day. You know, like the most popular car color is probably silver or black.
Good stuff, team.
For a reason. People want a black for their phone too. But Apple's not giving it to us for the Pro phones this year, so you have this really bright two-tone orange. I thought it was going to be more pumpkin colored from all those leaks, but it is definitely not. It's fully orange. And then you have blue, which is maybe the one I'm going to have to go with because it's the closest to black. A lot of people like the silver, and that's cool.
I'll buy a flash.
I just can't. I record a lot of videos.
No, don't flash yourself out. You'll slow yourself down.
Like cars, and it's just too bright in the reflection.
I remember the days when people didn't even flash long. They just peaked it with the push at testosterone, testy filled test.
The new one, the ultra thin one, which is the iPhone Air, notably not
now
the
these
iPhone
kids want to get
17 Air.
flashed like
It's the
porn ain't on
iPhone
their
Air.
phone.
At least that's the way they said in the keynote, which is interesting because people are speculating that they may not refresh it every single year, which I guess logically could make sense, but I kind of think they're going to do a new one every year. But this is the thinnest box. They show it sideways on the box. Let's see what it actually looks like here. It's face up. Jeez, every time you hold it. Okay, so this is the light blue, barely blue phone. And that is, again, just
Let's go, my brother.
I think this is the third thinnest phone I've ever seen. The Moto Z. And then there's this one other phone, I think it was like 4 inches or something. I never held it, but this is absolutely ridiculous to see.
One CT, one middle.
One long.
Special in the air box.
Green comeback.
There's two pushing
battery. So the battery, like we saw in the keynote, was launched alongside the phone designed for iPhone Air. And this is what it looks like here.
To your right.
This all-white battery. I checked on the back, 3,100.
No. Where did I play?
By itself, like this.
Oh.
That's the size of
Counter-terrorists win.
So it's designed for the air. It's perfectly fitting underneath the camera bump. And you could use it on the other phones, but it's not designed for that. So like it wouldn't really fit or magnetize in the right place. You'd have to
Let's try cat
sideways or something, which is probably not
Ah,
what you
smoke
actually want
door.
to do. So yeah, definitely made for this phone. There's nothing stopping other people
Don't flash long.
making really good things that fit on any of the phones, but yeah, they launched these things. And so
You could go mid to B.
So here's the results from the new A19 and A19 Pro for the voice generation.
Good behind door.
Counter-terrorists win.
There's also more big things that's come out since the keynote. Battery size capacities. Apple doesn't advertise them, but you can find them. So check this out. On the base iPhone, it's less interesting. These phones are nearly the same dimensions, and the batteries
I'm gonna alert
inside
me.
are also almost the same size, less than 5% bigger. The Pro phones are more interesting because they're
Too long. I'm gonna alert.
they're really feeling like the most maximalist iPhones yet, and that has translated into the battery department because the Pro Max has cracked 5,000 milliamp hours for the first time, and the smaller sized Pro phone sees really a 20% larger.
Was he long?
Yeah, one was long.
Kind of a lot, so paying attention to. And then maybe
You should have rotated from B, right?
So okay, it has a 3,000.
On Asa.
It is the smallest of the bunch, as expected. But okay, 3,100
Last one should be long.
is maybe it's about the same size as the battery from the 13 Pro. What I will say is this adds definitely more fuel to the.
Oh hell yeah! Let me show you how to rush long.
This is about battery fire for me because on the website to compare all the devices, if you look at batteries, they rate the Air for more battery than
Let's see how good your flash is.
they rate this one.
Well,
I guess all that to say that we'll be paying acceptable, but not great, I would say. I had one really bad day early, but it was still downloading lossless audio, so you can't really count that. And since then, it's around
Terrorists win.
dang, I'm not gonna lie, I barely use YouTube, but that was a pretty cool flash.
But stay tuned for my full review to get the verdict on that.
Sorry to
Air
self-flex
really has been
there,
the
guys.
best iPhone in the lineup to test by far. The only one that's sticking with this titanium for the rails.
Hell
which
yeah,
are
we're
very
up in
glossy
mid.
And very quickly get covered in fingerprints. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is also the blue one.
Two Russian mid. Three Russian mid.
What the? There's one in long doors. Camping. Took my off and ran.
Speaking of Samsung, this is their ultra thin phone, the S20. Both exist and actually.
I'd probably go be the offers in BA.
There's one lower.
On social media, who did thin better? Now I will say they do have a lot of approaches to getting this thin. Both actually use the flagship chip from their lineups.
We have it.
Close to it. Yeah,
Go back.
GPU core from
Terrorists win.
Both also certainly sacrifice long-term cooling of this flagship chip by leaving out the vapor chamber from their bigger flagship brothers. But also, the S25 Edge has a full flagship main camera. The iPhone Air does not. The S25 Edge also has an ultra-wide alongside it. The iPhone Air does not. S25 Edge still has stereo speakers. iPhone Air does not. There's no speaker at the bottom at all. It's just microphones. And S25 Edge has the smallest battery of the lineup, but it's still.
You want this?
iPhone Air. The iPhone Air.
One's on the ramp today.
Question in my mind, this is the most of this. I get a lot of people checking it out. Fuck! Friends, and when they just see it. I actually think that's a distraction because the base iPhone this year is more cooler than ever. The one that most people should get. Maybe it's a hotter take. I dropped a little bit earlier on the Waycom podcast. You might have heard this already if you listen there. But I think this is one of the best deals in all of smartphones. Like, think about this. You've seen in the past few years, the base pretty good deal, right? Now the base iPhone 17 has one a much more powerful chip, the new better selfie camera in there.
I killed the car.
Okay, let's not fall apart.
The phones you guys are most interested in, iPhone Air 1. Not a shocker. That'll probably be the first review, but then the Air and the Pro, there's a lot to talk about. The vapor chambers, the cooling, the camera, new selfie cameras, and just which ones are good deals at which prices, and also new pricing.
Here we go, you mongrel dog!
But comment down below, check those out. Be sure to get subscribed to the getting a 17 series iPhone.
Move. Coach you along. Shot me behind the wall, what the fuck?
Because it's dbrand, there's a ton of Easter eggs all over this case and use a bunch of different textures to make it feel super drippy. And bonus, the buttons are customizable because you can just pop them out and swap them with color replacements to add a little personal touch. Or just leave them black. That's probably how I'd go. They've also both got super strong magnets. That's something I noticed about dbrand's cases is they've
Nice.
One Russian up mid, or maybe lower.
Lower.
Thanks for watching. Catch you very soon.
One in long.
Upper clear. He's green box.
That's my son. Hey, what's going on? We're having a video show here, and it's about Bernie Sanders coming to town, and they told me
What happens when you put Bernie Sanders in the Trump voters?
I was shocked.
As bad as they had told you, huh?
This is not how he's portrayed.
Counter-terrorists win. So is West Virginia.
This is West Bygone, Virginia.
A state that voted blue for almost 80 years straight, until it flipped hard to become the second reddest state in the country.
This is a state where Donald Trump got 70%.
Really? It's easy to assume that West Virginia will be red forever.
Move it,
I'm not
move
so
it!
sure. I live here, and I talk to a lot of Trump voters about floods that leveled their homes, power bills that climb every year. How many of them sound like Bernie Sanders?
The billionaires, they don't need a tax break.
You're trying to give all the billionaires and rich people rights. That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
So when I heard that Bernie was going through, I
One mid doors.
Another one CT. A side looks
Where
clear.
should I sit? I'm in the middle of here.
No, it's not.
And what would it mean for the
Because I got the one guy who's.
Started with Trump and then now.
It's clear.
He's just ultra-liberal, he's a socialist.
I'm sorry to get everybody in trouble.
I'll plant for long.
And me? I got to Trump and find out.
West Virginia, I know it's not your first time here.
No, it is not. Been here several times.
Cat with an off.
I love the state, actually. It's a beautiful state.
Is bomb planted in front of the
Very
box?
much enjoyed the
Right
people,
here,
very down to earth.
Okay,
working
gotcha.
class people. You know, we campaigned here very vigorously.
Yeah.
In 2016.
Probably saving, right?
Yes.
And we had to take on Hillary Clinton and Joe Manchin and the whole Democratic Party establishment. We went to places
nice shit,
where
no time.
politicians don't usually go, including McDowell County.
Oh, he's still
McDowell
trying.
was-
Terrorists win. Lost the cop.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We are the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people as a right. What do you think?
Alright.
Do you think we should join other countries and guarantee health care as a right of
Alright, we got some money now.
I think every American citizen should have health care.
We ended up winning West Virginia. We won every single county in the state.
Wait for their util.
In 2016, Bernie didn't just win West Virginia.
still.
who thought they had this place figured out.
Oh, there it is. Too long.
That was just the Democratic primary in 2016. The real question is, how does Bernie's message land with Trump voters in 2025?
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. Come back to me. I talk about healthcare here in Mingo County. What's
Be clear.
I see a hand.
He said look clear.
Can you stand up?
Hi, my name is Sheila Rose, and I ended up back in Mingo County where I grew up after a chronic illness paralyzed me about 4 years ago.
One cat, I think.
I've come a long way since then, but anytime I need to see a specialist, it's a 2-hour trip. Anytime I need
He's
to
mid
refer
coming.
to a new
Yeah, one mid.
specialist, it's a 6-month wait. There is no way to stay healthy in Mingo County.
Mingo County is in the southern coal fields of Washington. For generations, people here dug the coal that lit America's cities and kept the factories running. Now, the terrorists win. And what's left is poverty on a scale that rivals anywhere in the United States.
It's crying at the grocery store.
Orange, could I have a
choosing
buy?
between
Please?
paying a bill or having food in the cabinet or the refrigerator.
Thanks.
It affects your health, and then you don't have health care. Child care is ridiculously expensive. So it's very stressful.
Thank you very much.
Mingo County, like the rest of the state, went big for Donald Trump. So we followed up with some of his voters.
Oh my god, idiots, they both rushed me lower and got to They literally threw up nades, they had the whole setup, and I was just standing there on T side waiting for them.
You're like obviously just like a normal human.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna be on B now.
Flashing.
I didn't check car.
Inventory of just
Car
personal
clear.
politics in the last couple of years.
One CT lit.
Planet for tons.
I am independent, but I lean not as much anymore as I used to. But I did vote for Trump. But I did put on my Facebook page instead of I voted, I put I didn't want to, but I didn't.
GG, same.
I agree with some things of Trump, but most I do not right now.
Right.
I do not, no.
John, what's that like for you?
Well, this is my first time voting because I was just turned 18 right before I was able to vote. So I voted for Trump, but I'm primarily a Democrat.
Senator, who'd you vote for?
It wasn't Trump. Let me throw out a question. You are living, shock of all shocks, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Do you feel that down here?
No. People are not surviving. We just had our food bank yesterday. We usually pack for 80 people. We served 102 yesterday. It is getting worse. Nobody's surviving right now.
My husband works at the hospital, and there are several ODs every single day.
Only a town of 6,000.
Yeah, we're not a big town.
Several ODs every day?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and you may not know the answer, nobody does, because again, this is not just the West Virginia issue, we got it terrible in Vermont. So why are people doing drugs?
In my thing that I see, because I work a lot in addiction, is it's mental health issues.
It's what? Mental
health issues. Lack of jobs. Lack of jobs, poverty, lack of support for our veterans.
You find many veterans doing drugs?
Oh, yes. And homeless.
And homeless.
And that irritates me. They stood up, they fought for our country, and we can't even afford to give them housing.
I always wondered, how did so many drugs get into this state? We have thoughts about that. How did so many? Yeah.
The doctor's pushing it.
Talk about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother was an addict, and that's how she got addicted. Was she had a back injury? The doctor kept prescribing medicine. Eventually, that medicine didn't work, and she had to start doing the harder stuff. Sadly, she passed away from a drug overdose. So, I mean, I understand the addiction part of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to fight. And addiction just doesn't affect the person that's doing it. It affects the whole family, the whole area.
grow up around this kind of poverty long enough, and you start to lose faith in the political system that allowed it to happen. While Trump may put up huge numbers at the ballot box, nearly half of West Virginians don't even show up to vote at all. One of the highest non-voting rates in the country.
And I think the message is not complicated. People throughout the country, especially in rural areas, feel neglected. They are hurting financially. The Democratic Party, by and large, has kind of ignored those people, turned its back on them.
Not always, though, right?
Not always, no.
Especially here. I mean, it was 80 years of Democrats before it flipped.
You got it. This is one of the strongest Democratic states in the country. You're a strong union state, working class state. But I think what happened in West Virginia is a perfect example of the decline of the Democratic Party nationally.
To understand what happened to the Democratic Party in West Virginia, you need to understand the history of coal.
I'm a mine worker, generational mine worker. We built these towns, all of us.
There was a time when coal companies controlled almost everything, and speaking out against the boss could get you beaten, evicted, or worse. But in 1921, all of that boiled over at the Battle of Blair Mountain, the largest labor uprising in U.S. history.
Way back when, in the 1920s, it wasn't quite so civil. But we got to respect those people, our ancestors.
The mine wars, our own history here, is kept out of the textbooks, really.
Is that true?
It's not in the popular imagination. I mean, that's been scrubbed because I think it's dangerous. You know, it's a threat. It's a threat to power.
Yeah.
Those early fights built the United Mine Workers of America and inspired a national labor movement that won the 8-hour day, paid vacations, and the weekend. And for decades, it was the Democratic Party who defended the unions. So working class West Virginians kept that fire going at the ballot box. But coal burns fast, and eventually the flame died out. Within a few decades, we went from over 100,000 coal miners to around 10,000 today, and only a fraction of those still unionized. As the union shrank, so did the backbone of the Democratic Party. So the Democrats shifted their strategy. They left the coal towns and the haulers to chase corporate money and suburban votes someplace else.
For every blue-collar Democrat we will lose in Western PA, we will pick up 2-3 moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia. And you can repeat that in Ohio and Illinois and Wisconsin.
The whole valley here was Democrat for years and years, and here the last 5 or 6 years, it has evolved into a red.
West Virginia's turn from deep blue to solid red happened fast, all while hospitals struggled to stay open, classrooms emptied out, and opioids were pumped into these hills. Then came Trump, who promised to turn back the clock.
Coal is coming back. Clean coal is coming back. 100%.
Donald Trump says he's going to bring back jobs to Appalachia, to the coal mining areas.
Yeah, they may do it.
You can see President Trump's bringing in all kind of industry. There's going to be jobs up the kazoo.
Look, why is Trump president? It's not complicated, in my view.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party was about protecting the status quo and tinkering around the edges.
Yeah.
You know, we promise you we're not going to do anything bold. We're very bipartisan. We're going to work with the business community. We love billionaires. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? And Trump comes along and says the system is broken.
Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's right. The system is broken. Now, his solutions only make it worse.
Trump, for all his promises, has not brought the coal industry back. But with the big beautiful bill, his signature piece of legislation, he made his mark on West Virginia. It's estimated that more than 50,000 West Virginians will be cut from Medicaid. At least 7 hospitals in the state are at risk of shutting down, and as many as 84,000 people will lose access to food assistance because of this bill.
So in this bill, Trump's big, beautiful bill, why do you think they cut Medicaid? To save government money so that, what?
They can give tax to their donors.
Exactly. It's not only a $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%. It's a huge tax break to large corporations as well.
So why do they need to have a tax break?
All right.
I
Now
use
you're
a tax
asking
break.
me-
I mean, I'm being real. I know I pay like 26% taxes. Like, I could use that money.
Look, these people on top are not nice people. They want more and more. They don't have $1 million. That's chump change.
Yeah.
And we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in some case.
When you live here, it feels like a poor country.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I mean, when you say we're the wealthiest, like you said that several times yesterday, and I was like, is it true though? Because like,
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
In aggregate, that's what, look, if we're sitting here and I'm worth $1 billion and all of you are broke, you add it all together and you divide it, we're very wealthy, right? We're all worth $100 million. But I got $1 billion and you got nothing. That's America. And if I say that I think the United States should do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to all people as a human right, are you going to think I'm a communist and a terrible person?
I think if people listen, if you talk the way that you did, and you're so reasonable, like they've painted you in a bad light, and it actually makes me very angry because, you know, you see things and you believe it. I'll just be honest, I haven't really seen you talk before. I haven't really I don't follow politics that much. And so the last couple days before this, I started watching some of your speeches and I started like watching your interviews, and I was shocked. I was like, oh.
Not as bad as they had told you, huh?
This is not how he's portrayed in the media, right?
We're told that the biggest divide in America is between left and right. But Bernie came here to flip that story on its head.
I think that whether you're in rural West Virginia or in Burlington, Vermont, you got the same exact issues. And I think we don't let people divide us up. We got to come together to fight for all of us.
Over 100 years ago, they called us rednecks because striking workers from all different races wore red bandanas around their necks as they fought and died for respect and a living wage. That history was mostly erased from our textbooks, but it never went away. It's still here, scattered all across the state, if you know where to look.
My grandfather fought at Blair Mountain.
Your grandfather fought at Blair Mountain?
Yes.
What do you think this country at this moment needs to learn from your grandfather who fought at Blair Mountain?
Well, you just can't stand and let them step on you. You got to get up and fight.
So that is what our struggle is about, is to take on the greed of these people and say, you know what? You cannot and will not have it all.
Bernie Sanders is 84 years old. He's not running for president. But maybe what he's after is way bigger than one election.
How do we get the corporate wing of the Democratic Party, who is just as guilty of taking money from billionaire causes, to embrace a progressive working class agenda, because it's about time?
What's your name?
Max.
You're going to lead it, Max. Look, this state was once one of the strongest Democratic states in the country. And I think people gave up on the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party gave up on them. So take it back. Don't ask, take it.
You have been to how many Bernie rallies now?
3.
And over what period of time did that take place?
2 days. The first night was just like real eye-opening for me. It was like a whole mind shift of my whole belief system of how we could come together as a people.
Yeah.
We all want our kids to have a safe place to live. We all want our kids to have food. We all want our kids to have health care. Like, there's no difference. We all need to fight together.
Yeah.
Because if we're fighting each other, we're not going to ever get anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Did you expect to walk out of here with a shirt?
I did not expect to walk out of here with a shirt.
Hi, thanks for watching our video. If you like this story and you want more stories like this, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to get more Perfect Union in your feed. And if you have stories that you want us to investigate, drop them in the comments below.
kick things off with drug prices. They're too damn high. They're so expensive that rappers are balling out on a full prescription, okay? Singles are dropping like, I gotta drop top bins and a multiply Alexa Pro. Now, President Trump made big promises about lowering drug prices once he got in office, but all the haters said he was never actually gonna get it done. Well, guess what, haters? His promises just got even bigger.
We're going to get the drug prices down, not 30 or 40%, which would be great, not 50 or 60, no. We're going to get them down 1,000%, 600%, 500%, 1,500%, numbers that are not even thought to be achievable.
Yeah, I also thought it would not be achievable to lower drug prices 1,000%, because that's not how percentages work. Just so you understand, lowering drug prices 100% means it's free. Lowering it past that means they're gonna give you money. Next year's Forbes billionaires list is just going to be a bunch of dudes with leukemia. On the bright side, we're actually going to be bankrupting insurance companies instead of the other way around. You know, if Trump had enacted this sooner, that CEO would have shot Luigi. But look. But look, Trump actually does have a plan here. It's not to put a cap on the drug prices. That'd be too easy and simple.
We're working very hard right now to get the other countries to lift up their prices a little bit and to get the drug companies to put it to them. And if they don't, the drug companies will have a lot of problems, and they are mostly agreed to it. And if the countries don't, then as an example, if it's Europe, I'll say that's okay. You're no longer allowed to sell cars in America. You're no longer allowed to have Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, or any of the other many cars. And they will say, oh, I love the idea of lower drug prices for America.
So the plan, just so I have it right, is to lower drug prices here by forcing Europe to raise drug prices over there, or they can't sell us their cars, reducing our choices as consumers and making cars in general more expensive for everybody. And I know it's very confusing, but I've seen this before. This is crackhead logic, all right? A crackhead can never go from A to B, all right? When I was a kid, I'd see a dude who needed $15, but instead of asking for money, he would try to sell you a tire, which of course he didn't have, but he did have a bike chain, and if you would buy that bike chain from him for $12, he would put that towards the tire, and then one day, eventually, buy crack. And my point is, that's a better drug plan than what Donald Trump is doing. Look, but still, Donald Trump is promising to lower drug prices for America. That's the news for today. And I'm sure no one is going to talk about anything else.
Brand new bombshell reporting from the Wall Street Journal.
The Wall Street Journal reporting that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump back in May that his name appears multiple times in the Epstein files.
You're best friends. You're best friends with a pedophile for 10 years, one time, and the world never forgets it. But yeah, this whole time, Trump already knew he was in the Epstein files, which is a good reminder that if someone's acting guilty, they're probably guilty. No one's ever going to be like, don't look at my browser history. You'll see all the charities I volunteer for. But the good news for Trump is this is America. We don't read. As long as there's no video coming out, we should be A-okay.
CNN exclusive. perspective. Newly uncovered photos and video offers a new look at President Trump's past ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Here you see the opening of the Harley-Davidson Cafe. Months later, some new photos reveal Epstein walking into the Plaza Hotel to attend Donald Trump's wedding to Marla Maples. There's also what was found in this review of archival footage from a 1999 Victoria's Secret fashion show, which reveals, as you see, the two men chatting, laughing with one another on the sidelines of that event.
It's getting to the point where it's harder and harder to find a photo of Donald Trump without Jeffrey Epstein in it. As Donald Trump, your only hope is to be like, hey, I take pictures with lots of people, all right? I'm in pictures with OJ, Diddy. I'm in pictures with Harvey Weinstein. That's not helping. I'm gonna stop. And they're not just in the video. Look at the chemistry they have. And this is genuinely unfortunate and unfair to Trump. But the way the camera highlighted the two of them makes it look like a giant heart on a kiss cam. What makes me feel terrible is I don't have a friend that I'm as close with as Trump was to Epstein, you know? They're making drawings for each other, laughing, showing up to weddings, going to shows together. The only way my friends hang out with me that much is if we're both holding Xbox controllers. The point is, CNN found all this new footage, and Trump didn't really appreciate it.
You actually called President Trump directly to ask him about this story?
Yeah, we weren't on the phone very long. It only lasted about 30 seconds. But when I got him on the phone, I asked him about the wedding photos. He kind of paused and then said, "You've got to be kidding me." He then called CNN and used fake news a few times, and then he hung up the phone.
Wait, hold on. You can just call Donald Trump, and he'll just pick up the phone himself? A president shouldn't be that available, you know? This is like pushing the call button for the flight attendant and then the pilot comes out. Like, it's like, aren't you supposed to be busy? Like, if you're here, then who's in the cockpit? I think this just shows how lonely Trump is. He's answering the phone because he just wants someone to talk to. It's kind of sad. Because remember, his best friend died in prison back in 2019. So, once again, Donald Trump can't shake the Jeffrey Epstein news. He's gonna lower drug prices 2 billion%, and the media still won't let it go. But old buddy Donnie's got another card to pull.
President Trump again tried to divert attention from the Epstein files, this time by accusing former President Barack Obama of treason.
Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so.
I'm sorry, you can't just say cold, hard, and blue. Like that's a normal phrase about an investigation. There's been 400 seasons of Law & Order, and no detective has ever said, we got you cold, hard, and blue. Dun dun. But yeah, Trump is now going after Obama again, and this time he's got Tulsi Gabbard saying she's got documents that prove Obama tampered with the 2016 election, which is treason. But if you see what Obama was doing over the weekend, he doesn't seem too stressed.
In my opinion, and this is controversial in my family, you should not eat ketchup after the age of 8. Does this man seem worried? You know, he's doing a podcast about ketchup. How is it that Barack Obama, the man Trump hates the most, is the most unbothered during 2 Trump presidencies? Like, I don't know what is pissing Trump off more, the fact that no one has let go of the Epstein files, or that Obama refuses to be the adversary Trump wants him to be. This would be like if you took the movie Lion King, and right after Scar took over Pride Rock, Simba sang Hakuna Matata for the last 43 minutes of the film.
an insane take. You're not allowed to have ketchup after the age of 8? Wait. 8 years old is too young for rules like that. Like, at 8, I'm still wetting the bed, but now I have to be an aioli man. For more, let's go live to Michael Costa. Costa, you're at the White House. What's the latest on the Epstein scandal?
Sorry, Josh, it's actually pronounced the Obama scandal. But you're right, everyone is talking about it. What's that? Oh yeah, I'm just telling about how everyone's talking about that Obama thing. See, Josh? Everyone's talking about that Obama thing, including that real guy over there. What's that? Oh, I'm just telling about how you're a real guy over there. See? No one cares about Jeffrey Epilepsy or whatever.
Michael, the Obama thing is not a scandal.
Not a scandal. And you call yourself the male Shonda Rhimes.
No, I don't.
Look, ask anyone, Mr. Shonda, all right? The Epstein story is boring. It's just a sex scandal involving a billionaire league of pedophiles. What's interesting about that? The Obama scandal's the juicy one. It's a story about a possibly unnecessary reappraisal of intelligence gathering protocols concerning election interference. Woo! Man, I'm getting cold, hard, and blue just thinking about it. What's that? You're getting cold, hard, and blue too? What about you, Josh? You blue?
No, I'm not. I'm neither cold, hard, nor blue.
Not even a little, because I'm a full Papa Smurf right now. Way more than if I found out some new boring detail about how Trump was on Epstein's plane so much he left a permanent ass cheek groove on the seat.
Hold on, is that true? Like, can you confirm that ass cheek groove detail?
The only thing I can confirm is how truly boring it is, all right? I was losing my blue, but you know what got my blue back? Was Tulsi Gabbard declassifying a draft of a 2017 report arguing for more context for election interference conclusions released by a previous 2016 report. Now that's hot right there. Not some newly discovered video from 2004 of Trump and Epstein slurping up some same strand of spaghetti till they touched lips. Oh yeah, oh it's boring. I'm so bored. Oh yeah.
Wait, Trump and Epstein did that? Michael, that is the story. No one gives a shit about the Obama thing. Why are you pushing this so hard?
Fine. You know what, Josh? You're right. All right, you're right. You happy now? There's no Obama scandal. Is that what you want me to say? That the Epstein scandal is way more exciting than the Obama scandal, which is boring and isn't even real? That there's no Obama scandal? And isn't that kind of the scandal? Why isn't there an Obama scandal? What is he hiding? Josh, we figured it out. You're a genius. You and me are blue as balls right now, Josh. Come on. We got it.
No one's blue. Michael Costa, everybody. Talk about tonight. Donald Trump is losing his mind and his hands. He's inventing new ways to do makeup wrong, and he has a dream that one day he will not be judged by the content of the Epstein files. So let's get into the headlines. Let's kick things off with distractions. What it looks like when they're fed to the media, and what it looks like when they don't work. Because right now, Donald Trump is desperate to move on from the Epstein files. The story is only building.
A major development just in. The Department of Justice says it is trying to set up a meeting with longtime Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in prison.
The Justice Department now putting out a new statement and saying if Ghislaine Maxwell has information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims, the FBI and the DOJ will hear what she has to say.
Wait. You haven't talked to Ghislaine Maxwell? Epstein's accomplice? The woman he's in the most pictures with? Wouldn't she be your first witness? Also, stick with me here. How funny would it be? The FBI gets there, and she's like, I'm finally ready to talk. I'm finally ready to tell you everything. But then at the last second, she grabs one of the agent's guns and takes herself out. The FBI would have to come out like, okay, I know how this looks. But I swear, here's how much I want you to believe me. We did do the first one, okay? We did run up on Epstein and like held him down, shook him a little bit. We didn't do this one. But while we wait to see if Ghislaine survives this interview, Trump has been doing everything that he can to keep those files under wraps. He's even got his friends in Congress trying to help. Mike Johnson shut down the House just to avoid a vote on the release of the files. Yeah. Do you understand that they clear Congress out for the summer like they found a dookie in the pool? But trying to shut down the release of the files only makes them more interesting. So over the last week, Trump has been throwing every distraction he can at us. And I want to go through some of them to show you how desperate he's getting. Let's start with his go-to distraction. Obama!
The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. Irrefutable proof that Obama was sedacious.
No, booze aside. Sedacious? It feels like he's mispronouncing a new black friend's name. I want you to meet my friend, Sedacious. Thanks. It's Sean. The problem with this...
I believe that
audition video.
that's because it never made it to air. I got
Dang
4
it.
yeses, but they cut me from the episode.
What? You got 4 yeses?
Yeah.
Ranking funniest time warp scan fails.
Okay, I swear I still can't do this.
I drink till I'm drunk, smoke till I'm high, castle on.
Okay. Wait, what?
Pull me out, pull me out.
The video that caused me to blow up Lul.
Alright, let's try this, guys. You guys ready? Yep. Oh, yeah!
Let's roll.
Ranking funniest time warp scan fails.
Hello? Are you guys bots? I'm new at this game.
Let's go, my brothers.
Mohammed's going A by himself.
I'm planted. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win.
Pikachu! Pikachu!
This is easy. We kill them and then we go home. Smoke! Throw in the flashbang. I'm throwing fire.
Shoot him! Last guy window.
I'm throwing the flashbang. Throw in smoke. Terrorists win. Yeah. Come on, let's go. Smoke. Activating the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Throwing fire. I'm throwing a grenade. Flashbang. Flashbang. This bomb is sticking down. Terrorists win. You will all die. Forward. Smoke.
Very, very quiet. Or just keep running.
Throw in the flashbang. Throw in smoke. I'm throwing the flashbang. Molotov. Grenade out. Smoke.
stairs.
I'm planting the bomb. Counter-terrorists win. This is what we have been working for.
Look at me, breathe. Ah.
Smoke! Grenade! Throwing smoke!
I missed.
Counter-terrorists win. Move it, move it! Smoke! Smoke! Flashbang!
They're here. Hell yeah, dude. But the bomb's not even here.
Counter-terrorists win.
Ah, hell yeah, dude.
Let's go, let's go! I'm throwing a flashbang. Throw it up!
Probably in the smoke.
Counter-terrorists win.
What are you doing behind you?
Counter-terrorists win.
You're probably covering the bomb.
Terrorists win. Bomb has been planted. Let's go, my brother. Throw in the flashbang.
Why would you flash me? No.
Throw in smoke. I'm throwing the flashbang.
What the frick is that?
Terrorists win. We cannot be killed. Let us go! Throwing smoke! Grenade out! Flashbang! Smoke! Thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that only flashes on me.
Grenade!
I saved you, yellow. Ah.
I'm throwing fire.
I think they got A.
Counter-terrorists win. Remember, this isn't the killing house anymore. This is real life.
I saw this video of a fan at my show.
Come on, chop,
She was
chop.
all dressed up so beautifully, singing every single word, and you could just see how happy she was to be there. And then I saw people being so mean in the comments, laughing at how she looked, laughing at what she wore, while she was just out there having the time of her life. And honestly, that broke my heart because no one deserves to be made fun of for being who they are. And to me, she was gorgeous. Her outfit was beautiful. But what made her shine was herself. And maybe we should all remember to think twice before we comment on someone else's life. Because words can hurt and words don't always see. I saw this video of a fan at my show. She was all...
Bomb has been planted.
Wait, the game started? I thought this was halftime.
Terrorists win.
Come get your bomb. Did you saw that pro move?
You're a champion, Sonny. Go, go, go!
B.
Deploying flashbang.
Good work.
Throwing smoke.
On a last guy. Blue mark.
I'm defusing the bomb.
Hey, go grab the. Oh. Oh.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win. One end to clear
That's
large.
not. Hello.
Let's go. Incendiary.
They're all lit on A. There was 2 in Palace.
You're right on. You're right on. Throwing fire. Let's move out. Incendiary out. Throwing fire. Bomb has been planted. Grenade out. Diffusing.
There's a kid, there's a kid. Oh no, there's a kid! Ah.
Throwing flashbang.
We have bomb here. The last guy should be A. I'm not gonna peek. Whoa. Whoa.
Move it, son. Throwing fire. Throwing smoke. Flashbang. Bomb has been planted.
That's the goes. That was fun.
Terrorists win. Come on, chop, chop. Incendiary. Deploying flashbang. Laying down smoke. Grenade. Bomb has been planted.
One was in the room area. Dude.
Terrorists win. Let's roll.
I'm new to this map. Hello? Hello?
Stop talking during warm-up.
What? What?
This is easy. We kill them, and then we go home.
I'm new to this game. This map actually.
Why did you queue this map if you didn't want to play this map?
No, I said I'm new to it, not I don't want to play it.
Shouldn't you play it on deathmatch first?
No.
Terrorists win. We will stop your little scout. Bomb has been planted.
What rank is this?
I don't know. But I'm 4K.
Is that good?
I don't know.
Should I go back for the bomb? I don't think I can make it.
Counter-terrorists win.
Nice try, man.
Thank you.
Let's call my brother. I throw the flashback.
He's still in B. He can.
Activating the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win. Oh, fear us.
I'm fucking up.
Together we can do this. Smoke!
Did you smoke window? I smoke window.
Counter-terrorists win. Let's go. Throw in smoke.
Oh my days, you're gonna get an ace on my days.
Counter-terrorists win. Move it, move it.
Coming.
Terrorists win. We will dance on your grave.
Yo, go.
Kobe.
Okay.
Oh, you guys run too slow.
Can you kill yourself?
No.
That'd make me happier if you did.
Bro. I saw a beating.
Grenade!
You ran away.
Terrorists win. Bomb has been planted.
I guess none of you like me. I'm gonna disconnect.
I'm gonna disconnect. I'm gonna